Hey everybody. See if I can rotate this thing. And lock this thing. Okay. Well, we'll do this. The coronavirus. Your thoughts. Anybody that might be there. We've heard a lot about this, obviously, over the last few days and all the things that are going on. Hey, World Guardian. I'm just going to give you my brief thoughts. Hey, brother. I think this is a real thing, and I think this is that those reasons are, hey, Gadget, uh, because of the virus itself. I think that the reasons are more more lie in the response. Well, I don't know the more lie in, but whatever. Like I said, let me say this. Let me say it this way. I don't know whether or not this disease is going to kill. This virus is going to kill bunches and bunches. What's up, Detroit? Bunches and bunches of people over the next 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks, whatever it is. It very well may. That is not an impossible thought. But very good. Very good point there, Woodworking. Yeah, I thought about that when we got back from the Virginia rally. Hey, all smiles. But anyway, I think that whether or not this thing is going to be a big killer, I think that the after effects, obviously we've seen the grocery runs and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know if you guys have heard, but there is talk of, and I don't know the credibility of this, okay? I'm not even going to cite where I've heard it. I've heard it from multiple sources, 3 that frankly are all what would be considered fringe, but it goes like this. The U.S. government is getting ready to get into some private / corporate sponsorships with or entanglements with grocery providers to let me bear with me. I'm sorry. I was going to go to my phone. I can't do that right now because I'm using my phone. But it was I can't remember the exact wording, but it was to contain and control the supply of food and groceries and things of that nature. So this is what we talk about. This is what we've been. This is one of the scenarios of which we prepare. So hold on, I can't see my chats now. Live chat. Here we go. There you guys are. Sorry. Yeah, problem, reaction, solution. It's the flu with the made up name. It's more than the flu. I really think it's more than the flu. I think it's and was there hey, disabled vet, what's up? so anyway, it's more than the flu. There's no doubt about that. Whether or not you know that or not, yeah. How do you lock up a nation? You take exactly, Detroit. You've got the point on point. This is a control effort. What's going on? They're gauging how this is going to go. They've already talked about having armed guards following after grocery trucks and doling this stuff out in I guess ration fashion, if you will, in parking lots of your Walmarts and your Krogers and your Albertsons and your whoever your local grocery stores are. I know it's different around the world, but or around the country, but it's Always be ready. So exactly. And my wife and I've been off for the last. Well, I went back to work today, but I was off since Friday the 5th or whatever it was, and went back to work today. It was in part little RWP's spring break, and then I had a birthday, and we just took the week off, and we got a lot done. Safety first. That's right, Wolf. And but one thing we didn't do is we didn't go to the store. We didn't need to. I got everything I need in here. Now that's not to say I'm not always topping off my preps, but because I am. We are. We do all the time, little bits. Just like I've said from the beginning, baby steps. We go every time we go. We do a little extra, a few extra cans, a few extra rolls of toilet paper, a few extra bottles of bleach, a couple of cases of water, whatever the case may be. That's what we do. Hey, Led Zepp girl. Let's see. Blue Ridge says, RWP, I believe this is the communist left trying to hurt the market. And yeah, as a firefighter medic, you can tell you that it's worse than these swine. I guarantee you're right. I know you're right that it is worse. It's and it's being downplayed so bad in the media. It's even by some of the people that I have trusted, some of the sources that I have trusted. And when I say trusted, let me use that. I use that, I suppose, a little lightly, or I don't know, indiscriminately, whatever you might call it. The point is, the sources that typically align with the way I feel about things and believe about things and the way I see things going, a lot of these sources are also still going, no, don't be silly. COVID-19 is nothing to worry about. All smiles, the chicks are doing great. They're getting big. They're almost jumping out of their little brooding box we've got them in. We've got to, I brought home some cardboard boxes and some packing tape that we're going to try and raise up around it just to make the walls higher, so they can't jump out. They're getting big. I've still got to paint this thing and get it get the wire put up, which is, I've got all my supplies to do it, and it won't take me much to do it. The putting the wire up, the painting will take more time, but we've got so much rain in our forecast that I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I think I'm going to have to put the wire up before I can get it painted based on the forecast and when the chicks are going to be ready to go there. All right, let me get on. World Guardian Walmarts are having all the shelves bought out. Not just Walmart. Your Sam's Clubs, your Costco's, your Targets, your Aldi's, your Albertsons, your Kroger's, all of them. Around here especially. And again, I haven't been to the store. I'm just looking at social media. I'm just looking at what's going on, what I can see, what people are putting up on these social media sites. That I subscribe to a few of them just for the sake of, dipping my finger in the water to get the temperature. Let's see here. April says if they decide to do food rations in the parking lot where people have to line up for food, they're going to, not only the potential of spreading the disease, April, but the fact that, and I'm sorry you just retracted your message, but I saw it. The fact that it's going into rationing, which is another thing I've read several articles now about, that the government is working with grocers to ration this stuff, to control and maintain, how this stuff is distributed. Ammo is drying up, all smiles. You're right. You're absolutely right. You used a wire mesh lid to keep them in. I suppose you're talking about the chickens there, all smiles, but now I've got we're doing the little, I don't know, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch wire, whatever it is, a little square. And I've got, what do you call them? They're big old washers, fender washers, that I'm going to screw it all in with. And like I say, I've got everything I need. Is Corsair Trainers in here? Hey, buddy. Hey, Steve. Let's see. G installation, very convincing info. Rick Thompson. Reading some comments here real quick, guys. I came on, I didn't plan on doing this. It's just, I was thinking about some things and I thought I would share it with you guys. Hey, KKR. Corsair, what's up, buddy? So anyway, do I think there's something to this? Ultimately, yes, I do think there's something to this. Now, what? I don't know. Like I say, I'm less. Oh, hold on. Let me drop it. I don't want to say I'm less concerned. The responses that the government's taking and that the hoarding of and the hold on, buffering here. Looks like I'm buffering. Try and redo this. Can you guys see me and still hear me? Somebody comment. Wayne says I'm good. Look good, sound good. Okay, okay, cool. Thanks. It's from my phone. It's like spinning and says reconnecting. But as long as you guys, thanks, Richard, Rick. All right. So anyway, sorry about that. It's still doing it, so it's gonna. I'm not gonna try and look at that because it's distracting. Saying it's reconnecting and little wheel spinning there like a hamster. But anyway, and that's what I feel like is a hamster in a wheel, or I say I feel like that. I feel like I'm amongst hamsters in wheels. One thing we talked about is we haven't been to the store outside of, I went to Academy Sports to get a tarp Friday, and I don't know, 2, 3, 4 days prior to that, we went. I don't even remember. Went to some other store for something specific. It was nothing major. My point is, we haven't had to do grocery shopping, make bulk runs and got to go get TP and, food to eat and blah, 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 all that stuff. Haven't had to do that in weeks, frankly. And it's because we're prepared. It's not that we don't keep topping that stuff off. We do. Let's see. Ammo Wizard, have me and Zombie heard anything on the constitutional carry? That he knows more about that than I do. Billy and his limp-wristed constitutional carry here in Tennessee. So I don't really know where that stands right now. I know that me and Mrs. RWP both have our full carry permits with all that stuff, and so here in Tennessee, and so it's not an issue for us. I want it to be something that is obtainable and reasonable for all Tennesseans, all Americans for that matter. But that remains to be seen. But this is the question I want to pose, and I'm going to get off here. I don't mean to stay on here. This is me just like I say, just jumping on because I felt like it. Trump gonna lock us down, Bostain? That's a good question, buddy. I don't know. What's up, American Warrior? What's up, buddy? Is Trump gonna lock us down? I don't know. He's never. If you guys have watched me long enough, you know that he's not my guy. He is my guy, but he's not my guy. I'm gonna vote for him. I'm glad he's there versus the alternative from 2016. And frankly, we got Biden and Sanders to worry about, in this one. Will I comply? Hell no, perfect in weakness. Are you serious? No, I've had this conversation many times. Over my dead body is how it's going to go. I'll be real honest with you. Over my dead body. Will I be the first in line to go to the Capitol steps and that kind of thing? No, I can't say that I won't. Or that I will, rather. But when they come knocking at my door, they're not getting anywhere, so will I comply? No. And right, well, do not panic, stay calm and pray. And I'm not panicking. Look, dude, this has been an exercise in whether or not to panic, in my opinion, around my household, around my family. So on the lockdown, you know what? Okay, good question. Perfect in weakness on the lockdown. Will I comply if my place of employment complies, then sure, because we've already talked about this at my place of employment, and they're putting things in place that are going to, help financially, I suppose, with the employees. If it gets to that point, if they decide that's what we're doing, they've already implemented kind of some of the similar things that you've seen, obviously hand washing and hand sanitizers, and don't go into people's offices unless you need to, and no shaking hands, and kind of avoid each other unless absolutely possible. Send emails, call each other on the phone even though they're two doors over in the office, that kind of thing. But if it comes to where, all right, here's the thing: posse comitatus is an issue, in my opinion. Posse comitatus is an issue. So if posse comitatus is in effect, to me that is unlawful. Or rather, if a violation of posse comitatus takes place, that is a violation of our laws. And so I can't say what I would say about that. I would move about as freely as I felt the need to, and worry about I suppose the ramifications of that after the fact, or during the fact. Now, if my work decide to shut down, I'll come home and hunker down, especially if they're going to pay us, So, American Warrior, funny how after we gathered in Richmond, this just, yeah, no doubt, dude. I don't think it is just Richmond, though. I don't think it's just that. I think that definitely sent a clear message. There's no doubt in my mind that Richmond was a big deal, at least for the cause, at least for the voice, at least for people to take notice that we are here and we are real and we will not be underestimated, to say the least. We who love America, we who love the Constitution, we who love our rights and want to protect them, all of those things. And so, yeah, it has been different. But I don't know that they correlate necessarily. And I can't catch all the comments, by the way. Let's see. Well, yep, causing panic. Yes, indeed. And you're right, Wayne Rogers. There's no panic here, buddy. I promise you. Gadget, West Virginia, the only state without a case of current. Yeah, here in Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken, I think we're up to 33. Right here in my county. Well, not my county. The next county over where I used to live until we moved, there's like 4 or 5. Let's see. Find new videos by Exalted Lamb. Just reading here. How long do I see, Tony B, how long do I see this mess carrying on for? God, that's a good question. Gosh, I don't know. I mean, that's anybody's guess. At the way it's growing, and I'm going to see if I can park this phone here real quick so I can use both hands. I'm a hand guy when it comes to this. So, all right. Here we go. I literally see it doing this. And if you mark up a graph right here, this is months. Here's December, January, February, March, April, May, blah, 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 all up through August, September, October, November, December. And I literally see it fanning out like that. If you look at the numbers right now, just this morning, there was, 50, I don't even remember. There's been, the growth has been exponential in some regards. Now, the under 100 deaths in the United States. And I say allegedly because we have to assume that we're getting good numbers, and we'll work for TV, boss. Amen, brother. Look, I got plenty of TV. Ain't no worries there. And it wasn't because we went out jumping out hoarding, TV. It was because we just always buy extra stuff, Baby steps, like I've always said, we just buy extra stuff, and that's how it goes. But I forget what I was saying. I forget my point. But yeah, I think this is going to be something worth watching. The bottom line, guys, I think it's going to be something that we want to keep our eyes on. We definitely, those of us that are here are mostly prepared, I would imagine. Gadget Cat, personally, I don't believe anything they tell us. I agree with that. Integrated preparedness, we are not getting good numbers. I totally know that. What I'm saying are just the quote unquote official numbers that's being reported by mainstream news, but I understand that I don't believe those to be real numbers either. However, I'm going to use those as sort of the basis for where I'm at, because that's what is the official story at this point. Uh, I have heard reports not only of greater numbers, hey, Lone Star Preps, not only of greater numbers by leaps and bounds of what we have heard and what's being reported, but also of the ages. Everybody says, oh, 95% of them, it's all people over 70. Bullshit. It's 40-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 50-year-olds. It's all points in between. It is all of us. It is America, middle America. It is the vein of America. It is me. It is you. Everybody above my age, everybody below my age. It's everybody being affected. So in the 50 percentile range, they're saying, Tony B, seems like a way to have a controlled economic collapse like the golden opportunity for, dude, yeah, absolutely. We're already seeing the collapse economically take place. Look at the Dow dropped, what, 3,000 points today? Is that right? I believe that's right. 3,000 points today. Businesses are closing. Look, Mrs. RWP waits tables. Okay. They've had no customers. They got nobody coming in. She's worked at this place for 13 years. She's got regulars that come in and see her. She literally works 3 days a week, about 6 hours a day. All right. And makes really good money because the same people come in to see her. Guess what? They're not coming in. And the waywards aren't coming in. There's always a number of others that come in, that whether or not they're regulars or not, but they come in. But you get what I'm saying. She's suffering. In my business, what I do, I actually get paid a salary, but if business doesn't keep coming in, at some point they're going to have to revisit that. Now I'm in such a business, fortunately, that it's a very cyclical business anyway, agricultural business. Farming, growing, harvesting, planting, etc. Our business looks at a more longer term model, I suppose. Because it is cyclical. But, if this went on for a sustained period of time, 10, 12 months, better. Hard hitter 78, all he wants is our toilet paper. Come and get mine, buddy, over my dead body. But anyway, yeah, 3,000, Wayne. Points today. So the Dow dropped. So yeah, it's everybody's suffering. We're all suffering. And like I say, I'm a real life victim of this because my wife contributes greatly with what she brings with the 3 days that she does work because she homeschools my child as well. I mean, she takes care of the household. She does so much, and so not only is her time as a mother, as a wife, as the as the I don't know, the boss of the house, if you will, or whatever, the house manager, whatever. She takes care of a lot of stuff, and the money that she makes is extremely important in our house. So yeah, it's gonna affect a bunch of us. Okay. All of these shutdowns, they already have started to, I'm sure. There's so many of these places, the restaurants and things are doing away with their dine in and just drive through only or drive around only or take out only or whatever the case may be. And they're shutting down universities, almost 200 universities being shut down around the country. Big names, Harvard, MIT, etc. All these things, of course, the sport, I'm not a sports guy, but all the sports teams and organizations that are shutting down audience attendance at the very least, and all that kind of stuff. And hold on, let me catch this. Rick Thompson. Virus may well be a hoax, but it's right, and that's my point. That's what I was saying earlier, Rick. I don't know if you were here for that, but I do not know if the virus itself is going to be this giant killer that so many expect that it might be. What I do know is that the after effects and the ongoing effects that we're seeing now, and what's going to come, how long it's going to go, to a question earlier, I don't remember who, but I'm going to say easily into mid to late summer. If not follow through the election cycle. But not only is it disrupting those things, but it's causing economic harm now. So well, look at guys. Again, this was totally unplanned. I just wanted to come on here and get a feel for where you guys were and just share my opinions with it. And not a hoax, if China said they only had right. Yeah, no doubt. Perfect in weakness. I mean, yeah. Would we believe them anyway? Does anybody remember all the hubbub of the past few years, FEMA body bags? Yeah. Look, and that was not BS, Wolf. That stuff was not BS. That stuff is real. There are really body bags. There are really coffins, plastic coffins stacked up. There are really DHS and all these other organizations that bought up these billions of rounds of ammunition, and all this stuff. That's not bullshit. This stuff really happened. This stuff is, and if you look at it, it's all a culmination. This is the long game, is what it is. Okay. All I know is this thing that we're dealing with, whether or not this virus is going to be this big time killer. What we do know is that the results of it, what's going to happen and what's going to be said and done, more importantly, done in this country, what we're already seeing, obviously in other countries, but we're starting to see it now in our own country. That's the stuff that you need to be looking at. That's the stuff that when you're shut in your house, and this is another thing, I have these conversations with people at work, and they're talking, those people buying up all this toilet paper and they're raking cans of food off into their basket when they're in the grocery store and all that. And I'm thinking, and they're like, are you doing that? I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. But the only reason I'm not doing that is because I've already got a bunch of stuff, and they don't understand. They don't get it. I'm trying to read your comment, Rick, but my phone won't stay on this mount. It's bouncing around. Well, look, guys, again, I only wanted to get on here for just a minute just to talk to you. It was a last minute thing. And KKR, we talked about, I was going to get on with him with Zombie. KKR asked if Zombie and I had plans to do another live stream. And the answer is yes. And Zombie, if you happen to be looking at this, holler at me and we'll line that out. But when he did his the other night, he'd actually asked me if I'd get on with him, and we had a lot going on family-wise and with other stuff. So thanks, Hard Hitter 78. I appreciate that. I don't know how knowledgeable I am. I'm just trying to pay attention, man, but I appreciate it. Or gal, whatever you may be. I'm sorry. But anyway, the live stream, yes, we were going to get on, and I couldn't, so he went on by himself. But we talked about doing another one. Yeah, Wolf. Trump has decreed National Day of Prayer. Yeah, that was yesterday, but we need to be praying every day, for sure. But KKR, just be looking out, because we're probably going to do one. I don't know when. Soon, I'm sure. Blue Ridge, good night to you too. Listen, everybody, thank you for jumping on here unannounced and in the portrait mode, which I can't stand. I meant to go landscape, but my phone wouldn't rock that way tonight for some reason. So you know what, Disabled, we need to do that. I'm gonna holler at you. Corsair, thank you, buddy. And we need to get on there too, buddy. Steve, we need to get on together and maybe talk about some of the stuff if you're interested. Led Zeppelin girl, God bless you too. Good night, everybody. I will see y'all later. Tony B, peace. Love you guys. Thanks so much.